And let's go to Texas for our next caller. Lots of callers coming in here. We'll try to take as many as we can here. Alan, you're up next. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You bet.
I'd like to, we've got a small herd of registered red Angus, and I'd like to know how much you should feed them and on the cows before pregnancy and after pregnancy, and then when the calves hit the ground, how much you should give them, and you could feed both of them all the way through the whole term till weaning.
You're talking about a pretty broad period of time, Alan, in terms of managing the cow. And I think the thing we're learning more about is that whole gestation period and even pre-breeding is pretty dang important in terms of maintaining that cow. Always remember the reproductive function, and I think particularly as you guys handle cattle in Texas, reproductive function is very much tied to the nutrition program of that cow, and so having her on an adequate plane of nutrition, and I'd argue starting with trying to time your calving so that that cow then is on a pretty good plane of nutrition as she goes into the breeding season. Step one. Step two, then once you get into the period of time with a bred cow, trying to manage her through that period of time that you maintain body condition on her. And a lot of their scoring systems available. They're usually 1 through 9-point systems or 10-point systems used around the country. Try to maintain her in a 5 or 6 body conditions throughout that period of time and not let her come into calving losing weight. Very, very important nutritional part of managing that cow if you're going to have a strong, viable calf at birth. And so those are key steps. Then remember the last step, when a cow starts lactating, highest nutritional requirement, that's a time that you either want to plan it around your forage system or whatever you have in the way of your higher quality feed. Once that cow starts lactating, she needs added protein, she needs added energy to really start getting that calf growing in the way you want it. It is a year-long process. Each step of the way is a little different, but you fit it around forages and then use supplemental feed accordingly.
Yes, Howard.
You know, it's a weaning program, but like, you know, I tell people when I talk to the cattle, I love to talk to them because cow people, you're in the whole thing. And you know, we can't just segment it. And this was a great leading question, how it is 365 days a year. You know, it's one of the things that we're VitaFerm with that AmberFerm, because if we can get by, we want to make more money. If we can get those cows rebred on less supplemental feed, and that's one of the things that the VitaFerm does do, is that we're going to get more out of those forages, you know, whether it's helping her get more out of those forages to milk a little bit more, reach that potential, whether it's more out of those forages to get her bred back, to hold that body condition in that late gestation, you know, and you guys can talk to this, but the effect of energy as it affects marbling, you know, in developing of that calf. And, you know, most of us are going to raise our cows and calves just out there on grass. If we can get 10 to 20% more efficiency out of the potential of that calf to get those genetics and things that we've been talking about, to get him to marble and go ahead and hit some of these markets that you guys represent. And
Mark, a lot of questions beget questions here from, you know, the more we talk about it, but that's just where the American Angus Association and Certified Angus can really be of help. You have steps that they can follow, even from introductory steps to advancing and year in and year out improving that herd, that you can be of help to these people.
Yeah, we've tried to be a resource for producers. It seems we went for years of really and still do today, working with academia and the researchers out there, trying to stay as current as we can about the research that exists, working with the extension folks to deliver these messages out to the producers. And one day we were doing a producer meeting. I've told this story a lot. We were up in South Dakota, and I had a producer say, "Mark, you just need to tell us what to do. You need to write us out a roadmap." You know, and we were all proud of all the tech bulletins we have. We're still proud of those tech bulletins, and they're available on our resource if somebody wants to really drill down into some of these topics. But what we've done is over the last few years, and we've worked with industry, we've worked with nutritionists and veterinarians and producers, and to build some best practices that have worked and have been proven across different regions. We've produced this best practices manuals. We refer to it, we have both a cow-calf version, and we also have a stocker version. And it really is set up to walk through, a producer to walk through each step of the process, from genetics to health, to nutrition, and then to marketing and to really discuss the marketing that needs to go in. Back to our discussion earlier of a value-added product has to be marketed in a value-added system. And so a discussion and some guidelines and some recommendations to walk a producer through that.
How would a producer get that? We're going to go to break, but tell us how we get a copy of that.
You bet. Free resource. Free is always the best price. And,
I like that.
So producers like free. And go on our website at www.cabpartners.com, and you'll see a section there for the best practices manuals.
We'll be giving that address again there to cabpartners.com. We're going to take our last break and come back and take more. If your telephone calls provide more information, all right here on the VitaFerm Angus Hour on RFD TV, rural America's most important network. Stay with us.